Ng programang ito ay mula sa host at ang kanilang panauhin at di nangangahulugang opinyon ng estasyong ito, Metro Plus AM 1044.
Okay, it's back to a brand new day, a brand new program sa ating programa sa araw na ito. It's 7 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock sa ating programang PTS, PinoyTayoSanman. Hindi daw ako pwedeng gumalaw. Bawal daw akong gumalaw. Anyways, mga kasamahan po natin sa araw na ito, welcome to another edition ng ating PTS. Kuya Mike po, DJ Jin on the other side. At sa ating programa sa araw na ito, of course, mauuna muna yung ating weather forecast, di ba? Ano po ang kalagayan ng panahon sa darating pong 8 araw? And it looks like we will head back to the cold weather. The unfortunate thing, hindi po itong cold weather na clear skies. So let's start it. Umpisahan po natin tomorrow, Friday the 13th.
Yes!
Okay? Friday the 13th. Fog and fog. Okay? So dalawa po siya. Ibig sabihin noon, mababa po yung ulap. Inaasahan po ang ating temperatura ay, nakikita nyo, it's been a while that we're gonna experience 100% humidity. Okay?
Oh my gosh! No!
Okay? Ang temperatura po ay nasa pagitan po ng, just imagine this.
Wag na. Bakit kailangan may imagine?
Di ba kailangan yun eh? You have to describe what it looks like and what it will feel like.
Nakakasama ng loob.
Oh, di ba? Ikaw lang naman ang sasama ng loob. 19 to 25 and the humidity is from 85 to 100%. Kung kayo po ay nasa mga lugar, kagaya po ng eastern side of Hong Kong side, which is nasa bulubundukin po kayo, no? Sabi nga nila, Eastern Peak and of course Central Peak. Guaranteed, turn on those dehumidifiers. If you've got it, just leave it on. Okay? Kung kayo po ay mga nakatira sa areas gaya po ng Sai Kung, Chong Kwan O, yan. Yung mga valley area.
Good luck.
Nako, good luck po sa inyo. I remember, during my early days, nung wala pang MTR sa Chong Kwan O, oh my God. Yung makikita nyo po yung wall na pinagpapawisan.
Pagod yun.
Nakapag-boxing yun eh, no?
Pagod yun. Yun lang masasabi ko, pagod yun.
So, ganun po yung ma-experience natin for the next 2 days, starting the 13th and the 14th. Fog for the next 2 days. Pagdating po ng 15, which is Sunday and Monday, the 16th, tingnan nyo po, suddenly temperatures are gonna drop again, 15 to 22, 65 to 100% on Sunday.
Okay.
But unti-unti po siya. Overnight temperatures will drop to about 12 degrees in the urban areas and a couple of degrees lower in the new territories. On Monday, temperatures are going to drop to about 12 and siguro sa mga areas kagaya ng Sai Kung, Maon Shan, yun, Chunmun, yung kung nasaan si DJ Jin, di ba? Yunlong, that will be around siguro 9 degrees.
Yes.
Okay? So, ewan ko kung paano siya lalabas ng bahay niyan.
Hindi na pala.
Tingnan nyo po yung disparity, ha? 65 to 100.
Gising ako ng maaga dyan.
Tapos ito 50 to 75. Pero hindi ka magigising kasing gising ko.
Nga, no.
Tuwa siya.
Hindi, pero maaga pa rin yung gising ko dyan.
Yes. Okay, so that's 12 to 16 degrees. First 4 days. Continue, temperatures are dropping on the 17th.
Parang makikita mo yung mercury ng
18th.
bumababa.
Bumababa siya, no? Taka muna, hoy!
Ayun, no, tingnan.
Yes, nakita ko siya.
Amazing! May ganun pala.
Tapos binaliktad mo, tinanggal mo pa.
Ayun na, binalik ko na.
Tuesday, Wednesday, again, lower temperatures at 11 to 17 degrees. Tingnan niyo po yung humidity. From a high of 100% humidity, we drop to 45 and 70%. Then we see sunshine just entering
On a cloudy day.
that Chinese New Year holiday. Right?
Yeah.
Thursday and Friday. Nasa na 13 to 18 degrees. And look at the humidity.
Sorry.
Bakit tuloy yung tiyan ko? Nawala tuloy ako doon sa concentration ko. Ang ganda ang ganda na nung pasok eh.
Nalala ko yung song eh.
13 to 18 degrees, 45. Imagine nyo po. 45 to 75%. So yan po ang ating kalagayan ng panahon sa darating pong 8 araw. Mhm. So ang ating mga pagbati sa araw na ito, DJ Jin, take it away.
Yes, kaya Sheila Kaya, watching from Aquamarine Lai Chico, kay Charlene Love. Sabi niya, yes, sa Chungkwan ako umuulan sa loob ng bahay kasi tiles ang kisame,
Yun.
saka yung wall. Oh no. Hi kay Kuya Jonathan, kay Tita Narvik, kay Eddie Tayating, kay Nina Miguel, kay Rowena Eliasur, Lucencia Payumo, Tita Joy. Sabi niya, bago nakatayo. Oo, nakatayo siya. Hindi ko alam kung anong trip niya, pero okay. Pagbigyan natin.
Wow!
Hi kay... Hi kay Catherine.
Kasalanan ko pa.
Kay Tita Ve, kay Gertrudes, hello. Kay Tita Kat Cecilia all the way from Taiwan. Hi kay Tita Josefa Almadin. Sabi niya, dito sa Hong Kong Park View, grabe, fog. Hindi mo makita ang
Ayan, isa pa yan. Isang lugar pa yan na sobra ang sobra po yung tawag dito? Yung humidity.
Wow.
Kaya alam mo masakit diyan kung it goes both ways Pag pintura po siya, magbabakbak.
Uh-huh.
'Di ba? Kasi kahit na ano pong tawag dito? Waterproofing nyo.
Yeah.
Talagang walang mangyayari diyan. Masakit diyan kung kayo naman po ay yung mga bahay nyo ay tawag mo doon? Wallpaper, ganun din. Magbabakbak din yun.
Yeah.
Oo.
Bigla siyang magbabaw ng ganun. Yung peel. Diba?
Hindi bowing yun, peeling.
Kasi kumaganon, so nagbabaw siya.
Huh? Really?
Yeah.
Sige na.
Ayun.
Ikaw lang naman nakakaintindi. Sabi ni Nina Miguel, yes, grabe po ang humidity dyan sa TKO. Nung nasa Tongming Court po kami. Nakatira, ginagamit kami o gumagamit kami ng wiper sa dingding.
Wow.
Totoo yun. I experienced that.
Tanungin ko nga sa mga friends ko na nasa TA.
Maliban dun, kaya nga, that's where I've realized na kinakailangan ka talaga ng dehumidifier.
Yun.
Imagine mo at that time when we were in Chongqing noon, nakatira kami sa Chongqing noon, kumbaga yung view ko was soccer pitch, no? Makikita mo yung sa labas, foggy siya.
Mm-hmm.
Sa loob, makikita mo yung bintana mo, tumutulo yung tubig from inside, hindi from outside. Oh. Tapos sabi mo, bakit kaya ganito yung walls na to?
Pagod. Nagpapawisan.
Nasobrahan sa
Ay, nako.
Okay. Anyway, sa mga kasamahan po natin, I can only say na ingat po because this is the time we're in. Hindi maganda po ito para sa baga natin.
Speaking of, kuya.
Humingi ng kuya, humingi ng solidification mula sa kay Kuya Mike para maituro lang sa kuya niya.
Kuya.
No, it's really bad. At this point in time, dito po tayo nagkakaroon ng respiratory problems.
Yes.
Because nakaka-inhale po tayo ng kumbaga liquid from the atmosphere.
Bad ba yun?
Bad yun eh. Kaya nga, if you've noticed, maswerte pa rin po tayo dito, touch wood, na nakamask tayo.
Yes.
But the only thing is, do not neglect, pag napapansin nyo po na medyo mabasa-basa na po yung
palitan nyo na yun.
It's not because of yung talsik nyo lumalaway.
Hindi
po.
Hindi.
It's because of the humidity yun.
Kasi yung
nyo.
kapag humihinga kayo, yung heat niya, 'di ba? Tapos yung
so
cold
yung
from
condensation
Yun.
ang tawag doon. And then
Hindi lang siya nagiging milk.
Yeah, nagiging condensation.
Condensed.
Sira na naman ang diskarte. Ito na naman. Sinama na naman yung kanyang papatawa. Di ba? So uso na naman daw yung yung mold. Uso na naman po 'yan. So sa mga kasamahan po natin, ingat po tayo.
Yes.
No? And we're not over and done with the cold weather yet.
Nope.
Because if you remember
We're
last
just starting.
you remember last year yung cold weather umabot ng Mayo.
Actually, oo.
Umabot tayo ng Mayo, no?
Yes.
So, but ang kagandahan lang if we compare last year's weather to this year's weather.
This year's drier.
Correct.
Oo, compared to
Dryer? Anong brand?
Dami. Ano yung sa inyo? Whirlpool.
Ayoko maingay yung Whirlpool eh.
Ano, LG na lang.
Siemens. Bakit tumatawa?
Iba yung iko-connect ko doon.
Sabi ko na nga ba, iba na naman pumasok sa utak niya eh. Ang hirap talaga dito sa lumalaway ang talsik. Talsik mo, lumalaway. Gigi Bolja. Akala ko, ako lang nakapansin. Okay.
No,
anyway, ang talsik mo, lumalaway. 18 after 8 sa ating programa.
Yes.
Okay. So, ang tatalakayin muna natin sa araw na ito is the opportunity for our kababayans.
Yes.
No? Yung opportunity po to para sa ating mga kababayan is regarding yung tinatawag po natin
Caregiver program.
So ito po yung naging pagsasanib puwersa ng mga kasamahan po natin sa Department of Migrant Workers and of course the Department of Labor dito po sa Hong Kong, no? So they were together itong Lunes in the Philippines. In the Philippines. So kung maalala mo, DJ Jin, ito yung time na kinuha natin yung kumbagay pahayag ni Conjen for his New Year's
holiday
message.
greetings.
Yes, holiday greetings, no? So sa panahon na yon, it became apparent na talagang desidido ang mga kasamahan po natin dito sa Hong Kong na mag-hire talaga ng caregivers.
Yes.
Okay? So, yung caregivers na ito, gaya na nabanggit po natin, numbers to around 7,000. Ito yung first batch ng mga caregivers na isama nila. No?
I see.
And in fact, nagkaroon po ng resolution ang Executive Council. Yung Executive Council po ito, maliban to doon sa Legislative Council. Ang Legislative Council, ito yung mga elected constituents, no, na mga representatives ng iba't ibang mga constituents dito, no. Yun yung una. Pangalawa is yung Executive Council, ito po yung parang gabinete ni CE John Lee, no, na nagkaroon na sila nagpasa sila ng isang panukala na nakasaad doon na kinakailangan with immediate effect na mag-hire talaga ng caregivers.
Wow.
Oo. And 7,000 caregivers ito. 7,000.
And that's only the first batch.
The first batch pa lang ito.
Wow.
And this is, kumbaga, itong 7,000 na ito is exploratory.
Oh.
Okay? So, ibig sabihin nun, panimula pa lamang ito. But there is no concrete evidence yet na itong 7,000 na ito is actually coming from the Philippines lang.
Yeah.
Because it has to be di ba? It has to be overall, mabibigyan din ng tsansa yung ibang mga foreign domestic workers or yung mga nire-recruit ng mga migrant workers dito. But nakatutok sila technically sa working group na ito sa Pilipinas. Because alam nila na marami tayong mga caregivers. Meron tayong midwives, meron tayong nurses, di ba? Na maaaring nakapasa ng board pero wala lang talagang opportunity.
Right.
So base dito sa sinasabi po natin ngayon, there are around 7,000.
Right.
Doon sa pinag-uusapan po ng Executive Council, ang sinasabi nila na yung dating pagpaprocess ng papeles, na ang papeles po ay lumalabas na between 3 to 4 months fina-fast track nila ngayon. Wow. In 2 months pa lang, mas magagawa na kaagad ng paraan. Wow. ng immigration, no?
Right.
Mapapatakbo na kaagad ito. Now, there are two, okay? There are two types. Pakita lang natin itong picture na to. Ito po yung kanilang working committee ng mga kasamahan po natin sa Department of Migrant Workers at si Secretary Son na pumunta sa Pilipinas, no? Ito po yan. Makikita niyo po mismo sa lugar po ng Department of Migrant Workers Office na ang ating kasama mismo. Nawala.
Hindi, okay lang.
Okay. Na si Ma'am Toots, no? Ople. And of course, nakikita niyo po yung working committee na yan. One side is the Hong Kong group and the other side is of course yung mga kasamahan natin sa sa Department of Migrant Workers. So, sa sitwasyong ito, gusto lang natin ipaalam sa ating mga kababayan na there are two types, no? There are two types
of
ng mga caregivers.
Okay.
No? Meron yung mga mag-a-assist doon sa existing caregivers dito at meron din talagang caregivers.
Okay.
No? So yung sahod po, ang starting sahod. Again, we don't know
this is like a range.
Ito yung range ng sahod, ano? And of course, this will depend on the premise kung ano po yung experience ninyo. So mag-uumpisa po siya ng 12,000 Hong Kong dollars, 12,000, all the way to 20,000.
Wow.
Buwan. So this is an average between 85,000 pesos, okay, to 140,000 pesos.
Alright.
Ngayon, may mga questions ang ating mga kababayan ngayon. The questions ng ating mga kababayan dito is they're saying na gusto nga nilang ilagay on the table kung po pwede yung existing ng OFWs dito who have experiences in taking care of the elderly. Kung pa pwede nga naman yun na i-convert na lang siya.
Right.
How that is going to happen, again, hindi pa natin alam yun because these are still exploratory. No? So, paano yung conversion nun as far as immigration is concerned? Do you have to go back home and wait for your visa there?
Or can you transition here?
Or you can transition here. Wala pa yun.
Wala pa. Hindi pa natin sure.
Wala pang
It's
finality
still on
po yun.
talks.
As far as everything is concerned. Wala pang, that's still in the pipeline na pinag-uusapan. Ito yung tinatawag ko kanina, when I explained it earlier this evening. Ito po yung, ang binabanggit lang po natin sa inyo, yung macro level. Yung nakikita natin as far as the, hindi
bullet
pa siya
form
specific,
pa siya.
Bullet form pa lang.
Parang ideas pa na nilalatag pa.
Correct.
Okay.
No, we don't even know whether this will be in accordance to using agencies or would it be a government to government initiative. Dahil ang feeling ko dito, dahil nga kailangan mabilisan ito, it could be a government to government initiative in the onset. Ibig sabihin nun, sa early stage, sa simula stage. No?
And then slowly, kapag nag-expand na sila,
then that's when they going to,
Ayun.
So, yun yung kailangan natin gawin. Ngayon, sakali ngayon, marami sa ating mga kababayan na nakikinig sa atin ngayon, how does it, where do we fall now in place? Kasi, ang pinalalabas dito, sa mga caregivers na ito, ang focus talaga is yung pribado at saka pampublikong home for the aged. Okay, so yun yun.
Okay.
So si Tita Kat is saying, paano yung may mga special child or special needs
person
na mga alaga nila, no? So, ano pa rin ito? These are gray areas natin.
Hindi natin sure if they're part of
kung
this
isasama po siya,
or is it a different
Correct. Right. So, tatandaan nyo po, I think, based on the need ng Hong Kong because of the aging population, and please note also, it's not just about the aging population. It's also the aging and the retirees ng mga healthcare workers. Kasi tandaan nyo, may ano yan, di ba? Cycle ho yan eh. Di ba? Hindi naman natin pwedeng sabihin doon sa mga kasamahan po natin na itong ginagawa natin ngayon is only for the elderly. Yung mga nag-aalaga din sa kanila, tumatanda rin yun.
Oo.
So, kailangan
they become part of
it. Correct, may replenishment yun. So, yun yung kailangan nating intindihin as far as everything is concerned. To be specific, ang tinutukoy natin kanila, caregivers and assisted caregivers. So, pwede silang mag-hire ng mag-a-assist ka lang dahil hindi ka naman equipped yet
Oo.
doon sa requirements, possible professional requirements ng Hong Kong, no? You may not be able to speak the language,
Not
not
yet.
yet. Yung certificate mo is not really suitable for
The
the
full-time,
criteria
Oo.
nung healthcare worker, di ba? So, kailangan basihan pa yun ngayon. So, yun yung kailangan nating tingnan. Ang kinakatakot ko lang dito, and let me forewarn
Okay.
everyone, because no lumabas na ito, and this is already out in the open, one of the things that we have to be very, very careful is that marami na naman po ang lalabas ng mga illegal recruiters.
They will take advantage
They will
of
take advantage.
information
Correct.
na wala kayong alam.
Correct. So kaya nga pinangunahan na namin po
Kayo.
itong sitwasyon na ito.
Yes.
We are wanting you to understand the facts
Wala pa.
as it happens.
Yes.
Okay? So for the meantime, pansamantala, ito ay nag-uusap pa sila. They're
Oo.
trying to iron out ano yung mga
Yung black and
differences and of course yung specifics, no, for this particular endeavor. So kinakailangan po natin siguraduhin at sabihin lalong-lalo na doon sa inyong mga kamag-anakan, kaibigan na gusto nyo pong tulungan na pumunta dito and you've already sent them this information to make sure
To make sure.
na wala pang finality sa recruitment.
Oh, wala pang nagre-recruit.
Okay? So, yun po ang kinakailangan yan. Kasi there will be desperate people who will be doling out money dahil sa laki ng sweldo.
Yes.
Okay? Parang nga sinasabi mo, ayaw mahuli sa biyahe.
Oo.
Di ba?
Pero wala pa.
Gusto nila makasakay ka agad dun sa tren na sasakyan para makapasok dito.
Oo.
Wala pa ho yun.
Wala pa po yung yung
Wala pa yung
tracks.
sasakyan. Oo, wala pa
Wala
rin
pa yung
yun.
tracks, wala pa yung train.
Yes. So, yun po yung pinaka-importante. I cannot, yes, that's true, no? How much is the placement fee and so on and so forth.
Oo.
I don't want to answer that question until
Dahil-
everything is final.
Oo.
Okay? Kasi mahirap po yan. I'm sure marami nang sasabi, oh, hindi, kaya kitang papuntahin doon. Kaya kitang ganito, kaya ganyan. Di ba?
Hindi ka naman yung agency.
Marami ho ang mag-o-offer sa inyo nito.
Oo.
Ang sasabihin nila, hindi, walang agency kasi direct po ito, pero ahente ako.
That does not make sense. If you're an agent, you're part of an agency. Eh kung direct, bakit may agency?
Hindi kasi ang gagawin nila dito, ganyan yung modus eh. Di ba? Sa akin ka na lang, may kakilala ako sa loob eh.
Ay.
Oh, di ba?
Ay.
Pag ganun ho yung mangyari noon, may kakilala ka sa loob, doon tayo ngayon magkakaroon ng problema.
So true.
So asahan ninyo po sa mga ganitong sitwasyon. Okay? Be careful
Yes.
with things like these.
Oo.
Dahil this is a big offer.
Oo.
Tandaan nyo po, no? It's a jump from a regular 4,730 to a 12,000. Doon
Yes.
lang natin eh, di ba? Doon sa minimum na domestic sahod na 4,730 to a minimum caregiver sahod or assisted caregiver or care worker, 12,000 na kaagad yun. That's roughly 3 times your salary.
Yep.
Or about 2.5, sabihin na natin. Naku, ang dami mag-o-offer niyan.
Yes. Wag po kayong masilaw.
Yes. Kasi
Oo.
pag nasilaw ho kayo dun sa sitwasyon na yon, tsak yun, sasabit po tayo lahat.
Ayun nga, sabi ni Tita Selimar, eto ha, wala pang recruitment, kaya ingat-ingat dahil maraming mag-grab dahil laki ng sweldo. Sabi ni Tita Alpha, mahirap na baka hanapin with pleasing personality.
And vital statistics of...
Oo, tapos may height, yung mga ganyan.
Oh.
Iba na po yun. Okay?
So, kinakailangan nyo lang po yan. We will update you as soon as that happens.
Oo.
And kung mabibigyan tayo ng pagkakataon na makapanayan po si Ma'am Toots, in fact, let me just make it clear na isa sa mga assistant secretaries ng Department of Migrant Workers will be heading to Hong Kong in February.
Wow.
Okay? para makita nila yung facilities, para malaman na nila. So, magkakaroon din sila ng working visit na titingnan din yung mga private
And
and
public.
public home for the aged.
Ayun.
O, nakikita nyo, nagfa-fast track na sila. Ha? Nag-umpisa yung Hong Kong contingent na pumunta sa Pilipinas.
And now it's the Philippine
Now,
counterpart.
it's the Philippine counterpart na pupunta dito. And
Uy.
hopefully, mabigyan tayo ng pagkakataon na makapanayam sila dito sa ating programa to give us a better understanding dito.
Oo.
Ang kagandahan lang po dito sa ginagawa po ng Department of Migrant Workers, itong programa natin ng PTS is part of the media group.
Yes.
No, kung saan napapabilis po yung press releases nila. Kaya napansin niyo po, pagkuha ko kaagad, I
Release
actually
agad.
release kaagad.
Yes.
Kaya yun po ang gusto naming gawin.
Oo.
So, kailangan mag-ingat lang po tayo. For the meantime, let's hold on to our horses, 'di ba? Antayin po natin yung finality nito, yung micro level and details of it, and then sa pagbabalik po namin dito, we will let you know as soon as possible.
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna take a break. Babalikan po namin kayo dito lamang sa ating programang PTS.
Metro Plus, Hong Kong's weather.
It will be mainly cloudy, a few rain patches at first, foggy later tomorrow. Temperatures will range between 19 and 22 degrees. Moderate easterly winds, fresh offshore, becoming easterlies and weakening. Relative humidity stands at 88%. For the outlook, warm and foggy with sunny periods on Saturday. Temperatures falling appreciably later on Sunday. Cold in the morning with minimum temperatures of around 12 degrees early to midweek next week. And that's the weather from Metro Plus, your connect.
Employers must take out employees' compensation insurance policies irrespective of employees' length of contract, working hours, or mode of employment. Any employer who fails to comply commits an offence and is liable to a fine and imprisonment. Employees may seek help from the Labour Department at 2815-2200.
Para sa inyong kuro-kuro opinyon at katanungan, tawag lang sa 1-834-100, 1-834-100. Pwede ring i-text, WhatsApp or Viber sa 6641-8811, 6641-8811. O di kaya pwede rin sa aming messenger, PTSHK. That's PTSHK. Isama na rin nyo ang aming email, ptshk1044@gmail.com, ptshk1044@gmail.com. Siya nga pala, check nyo na rin ang aming Facebook community page, facebook.com/PinoyTayoSanman.
Balik po tayo sa ating programa. It's 8:34 at itong mga ganitong sitwasyon, I've actually been hearing a lot of untold stories about agencies dito sa Hong Kong. I'll probably discuss that tomorrow, to be more specific, kasi may marami na hong lumalapit sa amin through our hotline, yung 66418811, telling us about agencies. Alam nyo, marami kasing there's a lot of styles to make money through agencies. Sadly, these are, hindi naman po lahat. Hindi natin nilalahat ng mga agencies. Some of them are really good at nandyan nakatutok sila. But sometimes it's not the agencies No, it's not the agency per se ang nagkakaroon ng problema. It's actually the people who are working as agents for the agency. Okay? So lang po yun ng nating gustong ibalita sa inyo. Okay, eto naman. So we go back to the second topic na gusto natin pag-usapan sa araw na ito. No?
Yes.
We're talking about people who would like to bring their relatives
Example na dyan,
to Hong Kong.
ang ating friends.
Yes,
Yung isa.
correct.
Darating.
Okay, so please be aware that in recent times na alam nyo naman po sa Pilipinas, depende ho yun dun sa hihip ng hangin. Pag sinabi natin depende sa hihip ng hangin,
Yes.
parang palitaw yan.
Southeasterly.
Lulubog,
Lilitaw.
lilitaw siya.
Ganun ba yung palitaw?
Oo.
Lumulubog, lumilitaw?
Lumulubog siya muna. Pagluto na siya, lilitaw siya. Kaya ang tawag, palitaw.
Oh!
Oh my
What?
God.
Really?
Oo.
Okay, that's
Kaya
interesting.
mo lang na no? Sa sobrang sarap, nakakalimutan mo ko.
Hindi, actually, hindi ko alam.
Okay, ngayon na
Okay,
may
now I
nalaman
know.
ka na ngayon.
Okay.
Okay. So ngayon, courtesy po ito ng isa nating kababayan.
Okay.
Okay? Pasensya ka na. She knows who she is. But I totally forgot. Si
Her
MJ.
name.
Si MJ pala.
Okay.
Siya, si MJ. Okay? So, ito ngayon.
Ito ngayon.
Ito ngayon yung position dyan.
Okay.
Naghihigpit ngayon ang immigration muli
Wow.
for any individuals
Mhm.
who actually have to get out of the country.
Okay.
From the Philippines, elsewhere. Whether maging turista ka,
Oo.
or meron kang employment, or
Actually, totoo
bibisitahin mo yung iyong
Kamag-anak
kamag-anak
or
sa abroad,
whatever.
and so on and so forth. Okay? Now, Hong Kong is the easiest supposedly, di ba?
Yes.
Kasi nga, in Hong Kong, you're able to come over na, doon lang ako, bibisitahin ko nanay ko. O, nandun yung tatay ko. Di ba?
Yes.
My mother and father are working in Hong Kong as domestic helpers. So, pwede ba akong bumisita? In recent times, naghigpit na naman po sila.
Okay.
If you remember, nagkaroon ng batas
Oo.
regarding sa pagpapataas ng minimum age
Allowance.
ng minimum allowance.
Oh, yung age na naman.
yung
My
age,
gula.
di ba?
Oo.
If you remember,
Was it 24? 23?
hindi. Di ba nga tumaas nga siya?
Oo.
Dati 25 or 26. Nag-26 na siya ngayon. Di ba? Under the DSWD na tinaas na ngayon, di ba? Na considered ka as minor. Di ba? Tandaan niyo po 'yon, considered kayo as minor.
So, ito yung travel clearance.
Yes, right? So nang dahil doon, okay? Nag-o-offload na naman po sila. Okay? Nag-o-offload na naman po sila.
Oh, bakit data error?
Kasi na-offload eh.
Hindi data error.
Okay.
siya. Okay.
So ito po yung binibigay sa immigration.
Okay.
Requirements to be complied with. Makikita nyo po ha. For tourists.
Okay.
Okay? Or for tourism. Yun ang sabi. Di ba dapat tourist?
Tourist Bakit tourism?
Oo, di ba? Okay. Anyway.
Anyway.
So ito po yung information requirements. They can see it ha? Okay?
Yan.
Okay. So ito po yung requirements that you have to comply. Tingnan nyo ng maigi ha. I will only put the one for tourists. Para makita nyo ng maigi. So number 1, authenticated affidavit of support from the relative within 4th civil degree. Kahit na 4 ano yun?
4 degrees?
4 degrees na. So kumbaga, pinsan mo siya, ika-4 na.
Pwede ba?
Di ba? Ba't ko naman sasama yung pinsan kong ika-4
Hindi kami
na yun?
close.
yung second degree nga hindi na kayo close eh.
Tayo eh.
Di ba?
My
Okay, so yun ha.
goodness, people.
Affinity duly certified ng embassy or consulate sa country of destination. So kinakailangan ka ngayon ng ribbon.
Oh.
Di ba?
Oy, oo.
Kinakailangan ka ng ribbon. Okay. Pangalawa, kopya ng sponsor's passport. Okay? Yung bio page, yung information ninyo.
So, when you say sponsor, sila yung nasa overseas.
Yes. Kung nanay ka, kagaya ni Jonathan.
Oh, example na Kuya Jonathan.
Ikaw na naman gagawin ko sample. So, kailangan makita yung
Bio page.
personal page mo.
Oo.
Yung pinakamagandang mong picture.
Isa lang naman eh.
Hindi. Kaya nga sinasabi ko, di ba? Yung visa noong
Yung current visa mo.
yung current visa mo,
Okay.
di ba? Yung OEC, if sponsored is an OFW.
My eyes are
paano-
rolling every
bakit
time
ako
I
kukuha
heard.
ng OEC na hindi naman gagamitin ng ano yun, di ba?
Oo nga.
Kasi may contract ka na eh. Ilagay mo na doon yung visa mo. Pati yung
visa
kontrata mo, ipadala mo na doon sa anak mo.
Bakit pati
OEC,
na naman?
OEC, kukuha lang naman ako ng OEC kung uuwi ako eh, di ba?
May gusto akong batuhin na naman.
Okay.
Ano ba yan?
Ito pangatlo,
Okay.
yung original na NSO issued birth certificate, birth marriage certificate of all persons connecting passengers to the sponsor.
I'm sorry, what?
So, sama mo.
Wait, original? Di ba pwedeng copy?
Yun na nga eh. Okay.
So, pagkakakitaan nyo na naman yung
Okay,
birth
so if
certificate.
former OFW, bring a copy of the latest OEC o POA information sheet. Alam niyo po, sumasakit ang ulo ko dito, no? Sa sitwasyon. Again, I don't know how, hindi ko po alam kung itong information sheet na ito.
I actually found one, pero hindi ko alam din kung gaano kaano to. It says Philippine Embassy.
Anyway,
ng
but the
SG.
only thing that I can rest assure you, the hardest part about this is this.
Okay.
Let me be clear.
Okay.
We don't know whether nakatapat ka sa isang immigration officer na medyo intindihan mo yun, di ba? Okay? Or some of these pwede ka nang umalis.
Oo nga.
I don't know, di ba? Kaya nga lagi natin sinasabi, bansa na natin, gusto nating lumabas, but we have to go through a dozen requirements just to get out.
Imagine like, okay, kwento ko lang since we're talking about the immigration. So, remember I went to Singapore. So, kwinento sa akin to nung friend ko. So, we met there. Sabi niya,
Nung umalis siya. Siya naman, ito ha, let me just make it clear. Yung
my friend
niya
flew
galing
from
Pilipinas
Philippines to Singapore.
Doon si DJ Jin from
From
here
Hong Kong to Singapore. So, doon lang kami
Doon sila
nakita.
Go.
So, si friend, sinabi niya, ang daming tanong nung immigration officer. O katulad ng, so, kailangan siyang mag-prepare ng itinerary.
Okay, let me just make this clear ha, bago yan. Baka naman po di naman hanapan ang 18 years old.
Mas hahanapin na po.
Masahanapin yun.
Oo.
Kasi baka ang lalabas
They're
dito,
still
they're
considered
trying to
minor,
avoid yung tinatawag nilang human trafficking.
Ito
Tandaan
yung
niyo po
na
yun.
pag-usapan natin last year.
Correct. Ngayon,
Diba?
ito lang gusto ko pong paalalahanan sa inyo. You'd rather be safe
Then sorry.
than sorry.
Oo.
Because merong yung kaibigan nitong ni MJ na may OFW din niya, anak kapatid to ha.
Okay.
The guy is 25 years old. Na-offload.
Kasi?
Na-offload kasi
Oh
wala
my
siyang
gosh.
requirements.
O, diba?
Okay? So, let's be forward in this.
Yes.
Hindi, ako sa akin, nasa sa inyo yun. You
Oo.
wanna go through the requirements, it's up to you.
Oo.
If you don't wanna go to the requirements,
Bahala kayo.
bahala kayo. Then
Oo.
you have to take the risk.
Yes.
No? Ang yun nga yung question dito, we have to be very careful sa mga situations that may
That me.
arise na hindi natin alam.
Oo.
Kaya nga lagi ko pong sinasabi sa inyo,
Mga documents.
make sure that you bring all the
The
necessary documents. Sa yung sinasabi ng iba, pag umalis ako ng Pilipinas ngayon, OFW, hindi na hinahanap yung mga ganito, ganyan.
Kala nyo lang.
Okay, then that's fine.
Yep.
Diba? Okay na nga yun pag ganun ka. But ang ginagawa lang natin dito is we're trying to make it a lot easier for you. So that pag nagkaroon nga ng aberya, you have all the necessary documents.
Yes.
Ganun lang yun.
Ganun lang yun.
That's how simple it is. Ayaw ko nang pahirapan kayo because I don't want you to have this problem. Imagine mo,
Yes.
magkaka-reunion kayo, magkapipinsan, magkakaibigan, kapamilya, kapatid mo, gusto mo lang i-treat na makapunta
Dito na
lang
lang
dito.
kayo, oo.
Di ba? Tapos
Pero
ganito
hindi.
pa mangyayari. Naku, Diyos ko po,
Exactly.
Mio, por Diyos por Santo. Kawawa naman po yung mga kababayan natin. Tama nga yung sinasabi ng iba. Di ba? Sabi nga ni Tita Joy, sandamakbak naman ng requirements na yan.
Totoo yun. Like, you have to provide, ayun, so si
Yung
friend.
sinasabi mo, yung sa friend mo.
Okay, so si friend. Buti na
Ilang
lang.
taon siya?
She's a year or two younger than me.
Okay.
She's in her 30s din.
Mm.
Tapos, buti na lang, she has a copy of the email na confirmed na meron kaming tickets for the concert.
Okay,
One.
okay.
Meron siyang copy nung parang leave from work.
Okay.
Meron din yung, I don't know, baka proof of salary.
Okay.
Tapos yung return ticket.
Okay.
Kung bakit siya, itinerary ko, anong gagawin niya for the whole stay.
Okay. Imagine nyo, walang kinalaman po yung immigration doon, ha?
Na-stress ako. Tapos sabi niya, tinanong siya, anong gagawin niyo doon? Parang we was just flipping through and said, so anong gagawin mo doon? Tatanungin ka ulit, magko-concert po. Sino yung ko-concert? So she had to use her phone. Patingin nga. Tinanong pa kung sino yung artist na pupuntahan. para panoorin. Where, it's not even part of it. Oh, so pinakita niya, so may bagong fan yung artist namin, di ba?
Natagdagan.
So, syempre. Pero, still, parang all they had to ask was, your purpose of leaving, when are you coming back? Okay, that's it.
Kagaya dito,
Supposedly.
di ba, pag pumasok ka, turista ka, tatanungin sa'yo, may return ticket ka ba?
Yeah.
Meron ho. Meron ka ng booking kung saan ka titira.
Yes.
Meron na, tapos na. Then
that's
they
it.
let you go.
Oo.
Di ba?
Wala nang
marami pang ketsi-bureche,
wala
di ba?
nang chismisan.
Exactly. Ito
So,
nga sabi ni
stress.
DJ Boljak, lalo na pag natsambahan mo yung medyo
Mausisa
na
na
officer, kakaloka.
Ay, totoo yun. Na-try ko rin yun.
Mm.
Parang nakita ko ano yung trabaho.
Correct.
So, ganun ka pala doon?
Oh.
And you're like, huh? Yes.
Well, I had that experience many years ago. I came out, 'di ba? Kasi ang nilalagay ko po doon sa trabaho, 'di ba, is nilalagay ko doon radio announcer. Tatanungin pa ako. Radio announcer, anong stasyon?
Alam niyo po ba? Hindi. Yun na nga.
'Di ba?
They don't...
Tapos tinanong pa ako,
Sample?
dito ba nagtrabaho ka rin dito? Opo. So then I mentioned, sabi ko, nag-TM po ako, nag-mellow touch po ako.
Hindi na-connect yun. Buti nga, hindi pa sinabihan si Kuya Mike. Example nga dyan. Meron yung iba, balay nyo.
You'll never know.
You'll never know.
Okay?
Pag natripan lang nila.
So ito nga yung sinasabi natin, no? It's sad to, nga sa akin para sa akin ito, it's so sad when you get to mention the phrase only in the Philippines.
Oh, when it's supposed to be a really good experience.
Yes.
Diba?
Yes.
Like, akala ko ba yun yung tagline ng tourism natin?
Correct. Only in the Philippines. Diba? It's fun in the Philippines.
Yes.
Diba?
Unfortunately.
Yes. Diba? Kaya nga yung nagiging problema ngayon because there are so many of the young ones now who are actually going out and traveling. Napansin nyo yun?
Yes.
Diba? There's so many of that.
The
diba?
millennials.
Because they're trying to go, to a certain degree, they're trying to be more worldly.
Yes.
Diba? Being parks. Alam naman natin, because of the internet, the world has actually shrunk.
Gone smaller.
So, nang dahil dito,
They want to experience
that.
a lot of
So,
things.
imagine how many of these millennials, there's
Zoomers.
Z, whatever generation you belong to, di ba? How many of those papers do they have in a Manila envelope or a plastic envelope, di ba? Just to prove that they're
coming
going
back
as a tourist and coming back.
Oo.
Di ba?
Can I just say, okay, hindi kaya,
Yes, you can say. Hindi kaya
I mean, not to point fingers. Not to point fingers.
Okay.
But hindi kaya this is the consequence of what the previous, well, not lahat, but then the previous travelers, I'd say, have done dahil sa pagtalon nila.
Yes. Definitely. That's without a doubt.
Diba?
That's without a doubt.
Kaya nagkakaroon ng distrust.
Correct. That's very, very true. Nagiging problema kasi nito is that we all know, palasak na to, no? That we say, and I remember pre-pandemic, during the maybe 10 years ago, na in order to go, when talagang sukdulan na ang UAE, United Arab Emirates, ang kumbaga yung ideal place na pupuntahan ng mga Pilipino, no? They get, ito na lang, they say na magtuturista sila dito. They get a round trip ticket. Okay?
Yeah.
By the time they get here, they forgo the return ticket.
Yeah.
There's a ticket waiting for them here
To go elsewhere.
to go elsewhere.
Yun.
So ganun na yung nangyayari,
Yeah.
'di ba? So nagiging kumbaga they jump ship in Hong Kong, stay here for about 1 or 2 days, wait for their booking for that particular destination. Doon na 'yon. That's exactly what happens, 'di ba? So ngayon depende na lang 'yun doon sa nag-recruit sa kanila. If the recruiter really specifies, no, ito, dalhin mo to ha, ito yung magiging ticket mo. Kasi dito, hindi naman ikaw questionin eh. Kasi kung turista ka, palalabasin ka nila.
Yeah. You can't stay here over 2 weeks.
Palalabasin ka nila talaga nila.
So true.
They don't really care about where you're going. Because hindi ka naman citizen ko eh.
Yeah.
Diba? So, paalisin ka na nila.
Oo.
Now, it really depends kung makakapasok ka ngayon dun sa next destination mo.
Yun.
Whatever that is. Kung
Yes.
sabihin na natin sa UAE
Oo.
o either Qatar, Oman, o whatsoever, di ba? Yun na yung magiging situation nyo. So, ngayon, nang dahil dun sa mga yon, it's beginning to be ngayon, nagsasuffer ngayon yung iba nating mga kababayan.
Yes.
Diba?
So,
Sabi nga ni Tani, yes, isang pinakadahilan po ng dahil sa iba pong damay lahat. Which is
Totoo,
really true. No?
damay na yan.
Yun ang nga yung sinasabi natin, na kinakailangan po kayong makaintindi nito. Kagaya ng sinasabi ko, we can't continue blaming people like that.
yes.
The only thing we have to do
Now.
is to protect our interests.
Since
Yun ang
you're
pinaka-importante.
aware na
Yes,
sa mga
yun ang
nangyayari.
pinaka-importante doon eh.
Instead of keep blaming nga yung we already know ito na yung naging consequence nung previous. Pero there's no point na lagi na lang natin silang sisihin.
Okay, exactly.
Dahil since alam na natin, let's stop it here and then ayusin na natin.
Correct. Yun na nga yung sinasabi natin. So we have to go through that process na dito pa lang or sa Pilipinas pa lang, ayusin na natin siya.
Yes.
No? Sa akin kasi, it's just really saying na we're losing confidence on the system.
Oo.
Di ba?
Nawawalan tayo ng trust.
Ng tiwala sa
Also.
sistema. So kung hindi natin mapagkatiwalaan yung ano na yun. I mean, makikita nyo po yan in the small, minute things that we go through as an OFW. Uungkatin ko siya.
Oo.
Una, yung e-registration.
Yes.
Similar yan to BM Online.
Oo.
'Di ba? Sa sobrang dami ng mga falsified information na lumalabas. Ako sa akin ito yung aking pananaw na they cannot trust or the system cannot trust an OFW's input of data na data supposedly nila yun ng OFW.
Yeah.
So when you have to change anything,
Wala.
you will have to go through the administration in order to change it.
Which is
Where does that
it's
really where does that bring us? The word is distrust.
Oh.
Una yun, di ba? Pangalawa, I hope na rectify na siya. Remember this thing. Kasama natin dito yung taga SSS.
Yes.
Di ba? Ano yung sinasabi nila? If you wanna do it online, every quarter yata, if I remember right, na
Every 3 months.
pinapalitan nila yung
password.
without you knowing. Why would you, in any stupid reason,
Do
change
that.
my password na ako dapat ang meron nun? So how does that now, in effect, help the person who owns the account?
Oh.
Una. Pangalawa,
It duplicates pa.
yun na yun.
Because hindi mo na mabuksan,
Exactly.
hindi mo na alam yung password, hindi
Exactly.
na active yung password mo,
Diba?
hindi mo papapalitan.
Correct.
You have to open a new one.
Correct. Di ba? So ito nga yung sinasabi natin sa inyo. The system
Yes.
is flawed
Yep.
from the very start. Kaya nga lagi namin sinasabi sa inyo, the changes will have to happen from us. Ayoko nang puntiryahin, but we all know na a big portion pa rin ng ating mga kababayan here are holding not their birth date and their birth year. Some of them are using different names. Di ba?
Yeah.
And alam natin yun. If you change that here, that's falsification of public document, which may lead to imprisonment.
That's true.
Diba? So, kaya nga sinasabi natin if we don't fix it now, there's no way we will be able to fix it. That is why hanggang ngayon, and time again, our distrust sa government is,
Reciprocation.
Yes, between the government and us.
Oo.
And
We don't
us
trust
and
them,
the
they don't
government.
trust us
Yes.
too.
Ganun po yung lumalabas. No? So, kailangan po nating gawin is to be able to trust the system. Okay?
Sana.
Yun po yung nagiging problema. That's
true.
the problem. And the funny thing about it, dagdag ko pa dyan, ito pa.
Okay, let's go.
Yung sa dagdag sa situation na yan, Pag ngayon, nagkaroon naman ng, let's say, bagong panukala, okay? Susundin yan ng karamihan.
Oo.
And during that time na susundin yun,
Mm-mm.
merong aakto. Baka naman pwede naman, right?
Oo.
Oh, so
Exception na lang.
Exception na lang. Pag nagkaroon na ng exception yan,
O bakit siya?
bakit
Ako din.
siya? Ako naman.
Oo.
Di ba?
Kung hindi.
Yun ang pinakamahirap dyan. Di ba? So ngayon, sunod-sunod na naman yun. Domino effect na naman yun. So ngayon, ang lalabas nun, bakit siya? Ano ba to? Palakasan na. Then that's where corruption starts.
Yeah.
Kasi kung kaya niya, maglalagay na rin ako.
Oo.
Wala na tayong katapusan doon.
Yeah. Dodoblehin ko.
That is where all hell
Breaks loose. Yeah.
So, ingatan nyo po yung sarili ninyo regarding this sa atin. Tandaan nyo po yun. If you do not budge, hindi po kayo, kumbaga, bibigay doon sa mga patakaran at sumusunod lang tayo. And when somebody is there, sasabihin niya ganun, paano naman ako? Hindi ko po alam sa inyo. Ito po yung akin. Everything should be done on a case-to-case basis. Dito, makikita nyo po. Straightforward. Third, di ba? Recently lang, during the pandemic lang nagluwag ang immigration. But they're getting back again. Di ba? Bumabalik na naman po ang immigration sa dating gawi. Ibig sabihin nun, pagdating ng tapos ng kontrata ninyo, you can extend for another year and then wala na po yun.
Yeah.
Tandaan nyo po, you go back to exiting and coming back. Now, maraming nagtatanong, pwede na ba na mag-exit sa Macau? I cannot answer that question. Right? Because things are still hanging in the air. Tandaan nyo po, pagbukas ng Macau has just been recent. And what they're pushing through is tourism. Diba? Tourism between the three borders. Macau, Hong Kong, and China.
Yes.
So, doon po nag-uumpisa yon. So now, if you want to go to Macau as a tourist, just to visit, maybe you can. But to exit and come back, whether the immigration of Hong Kong is going to consider that as an exit requirement,
Dun.
hindi ko po masasagot yun. Di po? Talagang kinakailangan para sa atin, we have to follow rules and regulations. Stop insisting na, bakit dati ganito? Dati yun eh.
Oo.
Wala na ho yun.
We move forward.
We move forward.
Oo.
We move forward po. And that is the most important thing para naiintindihan natin lagi kung ano ang tama para sa atin.
Yes.
And nobody questions the credibility of government agencies because of that. Pagbalik po natin, topics that we're gonna talk about, yung overstaying. Okay? Please
Since
be
we're
aware
still
of
in
the
the
consequences. And yung OFWs heading back to Hong Kong naman.
Oo.
Sa pagbabalik ng ating programa, don't go away. We're still on the same feed.
On Facebook and on YouTube,
Don't
Your
go away.
Connect.
Metro Plus, a service of Metro Broadcast. Now the news with Jeanette Gaius.
India is reviving a network of thousands of village guards in Jammu and Kashmir, including arming some with automatic rifles after a militant attack in the disputed region killed 7 civilians earlier in January. New Delhi has battled a decades-long armed insurgency in Kashmir, accusing arch-rival Pakistan of stoking violence in the territory, an allegation that Islamabad denies. The nuclear-armed neighbors claim the Himalayan region, that includes the Muslim-majority Kashmir Valley and Hindu-dominated Jammu, in full but control only parts of it. Authorities reactivated an almost defunct network of 26,000 village defense guards after militants killed 7 residents of a Hindu community in a remote village in Jammu's Raijuri district on January 1st. Coordinated attacks by Islamic extremists have killed 14 million soldiers and wounded nearly a dozen. Colonel Soleiman Dembele, the director of public relations for the army, said in a statement, multiple improvised explosive devices detonated between Dia and the Farabe villages, as well as between Komara and Machina towns in central Mali. Dembele said during the same attacks, which occurred earlier this week, Mali's forces killed more than 30 terrorists. The West African nation has been riddled with violence linked to Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State group for a decade. Thousands of people have been killed. Mali's ruling junta, which seized power in 2 coups starting in 2020, has been struggling to beat back the jihadis, especially since French troops pulled out of the country in August amid frayed relations with the junta. France has been in the region since 2013 when it sent in troops to Mali to push back extremists encroaching on the capital Bamako, but the jihadists has since regrouped. South Korean officials are considering creating a domestic fund to compensate Koreans who were enslaved by Japanese companies before the end of World War II, as they desperately try to repair relations with Tokyo that have deteriorated in recent years over historical grievances. The plan, revealed Thursday during a public hearing organized by Seoul's foreign ministry, was met with fierce criticism by victims and their legal representatives who have demanded that the reparations come from Japan. Relations between Seoul and Tokyo have been strained since South Korea's Supreme Court in 2018 upheld lower court verdicts and ordered Nippon Steel and Mitsubishi Heavy Industries to compensate Korean forced laborers. The companies have refused to carry out the orders, and the plaintiffs have responded by pursuing legal steps aimed at forcing the companies to sell off their local assets to provide compensation, a process South Korean officials fear would cause further rupture between Seoul and Tokyo. Victims have also demanded the Japanese companies issue an apology over their ordeals. Pakistan's Prime Minister traveled to the United Arab Emirates as his nation seeks international aid to recover from devastating floods. Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif's visit to the UAE marks his 3rd since becoming premier last April. The 7 sheikdoms of the Emirates are home to some 1.7 million Pakistanis, many manual laborers that power its economy and send money back to their nation. Sharif planned to meet with the Emirates leader, Abu Dhabi ruler Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, as well as Dubai's ruler, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, on the 2-day trip. On Wednesday, Sharif said several countries and some of the world's institutions have pledged $9.7 billion to help Pakistan rebuild from the summer's catastrophic flood that killed 1,739 people. The floods destroyed more than 2 million homes and caused more than $30 billion in damage. Former Israeli top legal officials spoke against sweeping reforms to the country's justice system planned by the new conservative government, lending their voices to a growing outcry against the proposed overhaul. 7 former attorney generals who have served in the post throughout the last 5 decades signed a letter of protest, along with 4 other former senior legal officials. 3 of the former attorney generals were appointed under Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, whose current justice minister is spearheading the legal reforms. The letter, published in Israeli media, denounced the proposed changes, saying they are destructive to the country's legal system. The former official said the reforms would turn the Supreme Court, often the last recourse for Israelis and Palestinians seeking to challenge what they see as discriminatory policies, into a pseudo-political body that would be suspected of bending the law in favor of the government.
Metro Plus, Hong Kong's weather.
It will be mainly cloudy, a few rain patches at first, foggy later tomorrow. Temperatures will range between 19 and 22 degrees. Moderate easterly winds, fresh offshore, becoming easterlies and weakening. Relative humidity stands at 88%. For the outlook, warm and foggy with sunny periods on Saturday. Temperatures falling appreciably later on Sunday. Cold in the morning with minimum temperatures of around 12 degrees early to midweek next week. And that's the weather from Metro Plus, your connect.
Unmanned aircraft must be flown safely. The Small Unmanned Aircraft Order has taken effect. It stipulates dangerous acts and restricted flying zones. Registration, labelling and training are regulated under a risk-based approach. Unmanned aircraft technology has tremendous potential. Before you fly unmanned aircraft, go to the Civil Aviation Department's ESUA portal for registration and safety information.
Balik po tayo sa ating programa 6 minutes past the hour of 9 o'clock.
9.
Final hour po natin sa ating programa on a
Hungers.
Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday the 13th.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. Ilabas ko kaya yung yung skeletons. Pwede kaya yan?
Mukha ka na naman ng... Hindi naman tayo Halloween eh.
But then it's Friday the 13th.
So?
O the skulls na lang.
Ikaw pa naman yung matatakutin. Tapos ilalabas mo yung mga ganun.
Sa bagay.
Ay, nako. Napaka-ironic po ng buhay namin.
Sorry na.
Okay, sa ating programa, 7 minutes past the hour of 9. And gaya po ng sabi po natin, yung may mga questions tayo dito, no? Before we, sabi nga ni Gigi Boljak, we move on. Ano ba yung kaninang mga tinatanong dito regarding hindi kasi yung tungkol sa Macau, no?
Oo.
Okay, let me just discuss that briefly.
Okay. Brief.
We all know that under the contractual obligation ng isang employer, when any contract is finished,
Yes.
a domestic worker or foreign domestic worker
Has to go back home.
is entitled, okay, is entitled to a round trip ticket to the point of origin. Anong ibig sabihin ng point of origin? Kung saan po kayo nagmula nung umpisa kayong nagtrabaho dito. Okay? So, guaranteed po yun. Okay?
Okay.
So, pag sinabi po natin ganun, para klaro po tayo, no? And I'm sure all of you know that. But there are people who circumvent that. So,
Yeah.
ibig sabihin nun, pag kayo natapos po yung kontrata nyo na yun,
Napunta
and
kayo.
then you still continue to go back to the same employer, then you're entitled to one contract. One round-trip ticket.
Yes.
Lalabas po kayo,
Oo.
then you come back.
Yeah.
During the pre-pandemic times, you can extend for another year.
Oo.
But that would be the last one, then you go home.
Yes.
Some people have decided na ayaw nilang umuwi ng Pilipinas.
Mm-hmm.
So what they do is to go to Macau and to go to China.
Mm-hmm.
Either which immigration already accepts that. And yung lumalabas doon, normally you have to stay there for at
A
least
couple of days.
a day or full 24 hours or a couple of days. No? Depende po sa inyo yun. So when you come back, re-entry na kayo.
Yes.
Tatataka na po yung another year nyo
Another
po.
year. Oo.
Okay? But ito ngayon yung nagkakaroon ng problema, which DJ Jin open it up kanina. Go.
Yes. Okay. So, ang pinag-uusapan natin, and totoo to every time you renew a contract, katulad namin dito, hindi kami pwedeng pumasok the day after mag-end yung contract namin. We have to be gone
Yes.
for at least a week, which
Yes.
will happen which is happening this
So
month.
makikita nyo po in our news
Oo.
group,
Vince is the one who is off the grid at the moment. Tapos next will
Susunod
be
nun si
DJ the Big J,
and
and
then
then ako na yung last.
correct.
So ganun siya. And it's the same also for your contract. Ngayon ang sinabi ni Kuya Mike, ang pag-exit is supposed to be point of origin. Saan kayo nang galing?
Sa Pilipinas.
Oo, taga Macau ba kayo? Bakit doon kayo nag-exit?
Correct. Di ba?
No.
So, nagiging problema ngayon yun.
Yes.
It becomes a very, very big problem when gusto mo nang umuwi.
Eto, dahil this is always the question, well, most frequently asked question to, FAQ, na nare-receive ni Kuya Mike sa phone, sa text message. Kuya, pwede bang i-cash na lang ang ticket? Okay? Ang sasabihin ni Kuya Mike, well, nasa sa inyo yun. Kasi at the end of the day, sure, decision nyo yan. Eh.
Oh,
Pwede.
correct.
Pero ito po ang isipin nyo. Once na pinakash mo yan, gusto nyong umuwi, anong pang uuwi nyo?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Kasi pinakash
kinash
mo
mo
na
na
eh.
'Di ba? Yung ticket na yon for
Oo.
that particular thing. Kaya nga yung during the pandemic, ang sinasabi ko po sa inyo, do not
Keep
get
it.
what yung contract which is closest to now.
Oo.
Kunin nyo yung ticket nyo from
Yung
the previews.
Oo, kung hindi nyo nagamit yung previews, okay, sige.
But sabi ko nga sa inyo, no, it is not required. Eh.
Oo.
Kasi kung hindi po kayo uuwi, bakit ko ibibigay sa inyo? So
Exactly.
nagiging question po 'yon.
Oo.
Nagiging question po 'yon kasi
Bakit nyo ipapakash yun?
sasabihin ng employer, gusto mong pumunta ng Macau eh. choice mo yon.
Oo.
So kung ayaw mong gagamitin ito, so there have been, 'di ba, problems with employers na atag saying na, sir, kailangan kong umuwi.
Oo.
Okay?
So, paano yun?
Yun yung nagiging problema ngayon dyan.
So, okay lang i-accumulate nyo yung
Correct.
quote-unquote unclaimed
Yes.
tickets nyo.
Correct. So ito pa yung sinasabi natin. Meron pa rin lumabas kanina lang na kung hindi ka lumagpas ng 1 year, one-way ticket lang daw ibibigay sa'yo.
I'm sorry, what?
'Di ba? Kailangan sa isang kontrata.
Okay.
Kailangan lumagpas ka ng more than 1 year and a half
Okay.
para ma-entitled ka. There's no such thing po.
So,
Regardless of what happens, kung kayo na-terminate, of course, there's only one-way ticket.
going home.
Kasi going home lang po kayo.
Oo.
Right? Regardless
Ngayon,
of...
kapag babalik ka,
Kung-
it's your new employer
Yes,
who will have to
handles that-
shoulder
Correct, that ticket.
yung
Kasi
ticket
babalik
nyo.
na yun para
Oo.
sa'yo. Okay, so we have to make this clear.
Medyo
Pero
nawiwindang ako
lagi
sa
ko
inyo.
pong gustong i-clear sa inyo. Sometimes, I know na siguro ayaw nyo umuwi, gusto nyo magbakasyon, and so on and so forth.
Oo.
But please bear in mind, okay, please bear in mind, na you're entitled for those people who are renewing their contracts with the same employer, you're entitled always to a round-trip ticket.
Yes.
Tandaan niyo po yun. If you get terminated, one way lang po siya.
Pauwi.
And this is your right because that's stipulated in the contractual obligation.
Again, pakibasa po yung contract nyo, ha?
Yes. Oo, kasi
Kaya
nagkakaroon
meron
ng
kayong copy.
Kaya nagkakaroon ho ng problema. Some of you have been here for
The
longest time and never, ever read your contracts.
Ayun o. See? Sabi ni Kuya Jonathan, extension of visa lang daw binibigay ng Macau, hindi complete journey. Kaya uuwi ka pa din talaga. Yung puso ko, Tita Joy, tumitibok-tibok pa rin.
Diba? Kasi may utang dito tapos walang ipon. Well,
But that's
ano na po yun? Personal nyo na po yun.
Oo.
These are your personal endeavors. Diba? Wag nyo hong gawing excuse yung what is stipulated in the agreements of your contract.
oh, ayaw nyo umuwi, di wag nyo umuwi.
Diba? So, nasa sa inyo po yun. But never ever demand doon sa situation.
Ay, i-cash nyo na
That's
lang, boss.
where miscommunication happens and that's where you lose your job.
Diba?
Tandaan nyo po yun. That's where you lose your jobs. Okay? So sasabihin niya, paano yun? Anong sasabihin ko sa amo mo? Sa amo ko?
Yeah.
If you have been with your amo for at least 1 year to 2 years, definitely there's always a conversation.
Oo. Oh, no.
Nagiging confused lang kayo when you listen to other people tell you what to
Yes.
do.
Kasi kung titingnan nyo, yung mga amo nyo pa mismo magsasabi na, when do you plan to go home? Magbabakasyon ka ba? It's Christmas. Are you spending Christmas at home?
O pwede naman sabihin nila, o pwede ba
Or magbabakasyon sila, gusto mo magbakasyon ka
magsabay
rin.
ka na rin, di ba? So these are things na kailangan nyo pong di ba? Bakit kailangang matatakan ng complete journey? Because under the stipulation of the contracts, every end of contract, kailangan po talaga kayo umuwi.
Oo.
That is a must.
Yes.
That is a requirement by law ng immigration.
So true.
And whatever the reason behind it, that has to be the case.
True. Okay.
Kailangan may complete journey po kayo.
Ito, may tanong si Misha Ming. Misha Ming.
Anong tanong niya?
Paano po yung last 2 years ko na hindi nauwi? Babayaran po ba yun? Then this year, bago pa lang ako uuwi, maybe by July for 12 years ko na po sa kanila. Again,
Tingnan niyo po ito ha. The tickets that are given to you for round trip are tickets after the completion of your contract.
yes.
Tandaan niyo po yun.
Okay.
So, kung uuwi po kayo ngayon, then you take it na.
Yeah.
Di ba? Pero doon sa mga iba na peperahin nila yon,
Hindi kayo makauwi.
like what DJ Jin said earlier, hindi kayo makakauwi kasi pinera nyo na siya.
Oo.
Now, you will have to be the one to
To
pay for your
shoulder.
ticket kung gusto nyo pong umuwi.
I think that's why now, eto na, it's clicking the clicks.
Okay, sige, clicks na mo, clicks.
Some of you nagagalit, biglang, sabi ng amo ko, ako na lang mag-shoulder ng,
Because pinera mo na eh.
or kaya, in advance mo na. Na-stress nyo ako.
So, kinakailangan po, kaya nga lagi ko pong sinasabi, ang government po ng Hong Kong hindi nagkukulang.
Hindi.
The contracts are very clear and precise.
Yes.
Second, sa mga baguhan na pumapasok dito, the ISS service in the airport, regardless of pre-pandemic or pandemic times, when flights coming from different countries na nagpo-provide ng mga migrant workers dito, pagdating nyo, paglapag nyo, nabaguhan po kayo, binibigyan po kayo ng isang kit. Diba? Isang bag of all information that is there.
Nandun sila, nakaabang bago
Yes!
sa immigration.
Bakit ko alam yon? Because I was one of the privy na nagkaroon ng ribbon cutting ceremony. I was invited to be part of that.
Pag hindi nyo siya napapansin, ewan ko na lang kasi ako napapansin ko siya.
Yes.
It's there.
Yes. Diba? So, understand the fact. Kaya minsan, hindi ko na kayo sinasagot. Ang binibigay ko dun sa mga nagpapaano, I only give you, kagaya ngayon, ano pong requirements? I just send you the picture. Bahala ho kayo mag-interpret dun.
Yes. Intindihin po natin.
Oo, we have
cannot
to start
spoon feed.
Yun. 2023 is na, dito lalo na sa programa, there's no more spoon fooding.
So true.
Wala na po. Wala na pong spoon feeding or whatever you wanna call it. We will give you the requirements. You understand it. That's all I can help you with.
Sabi ni Tita sabi ni Tita Norms, mga matatagal na, parang new ones. Hindi na alam ang rules ng kontrata. Basa-basa lang po tayo. Kasi it's our personal things or documents. If medyo hindi nyo naalala, you have a copy, it never changed eh.
It never.
The color lang. But,
yes.
diba? Unless there's something new, they will inform you.
In fact,
pero read it.
In fact, the processing now has even been made
Easier.
Kasi nakukuha nyo na kaagad yung visa before you go to the consulate for verifications.
Exactly.
Dati kasi, ngayon, ang lalabas nun, technically, magkatugma na siya. The contract and the visa are on the same wavelength ng approval. Hindi kagaya dati, nauuna yung approval ng kontrata, naku-confuse kayo. Kasi yung visa will only come after ng submission nun. Diba? So, naku-confuse kayo. Ano ba susundin ko? Kontrata o visa? Doon tayo ngayon nagkakaroon ng problema. Now, the consulate or Polo has already rectified that problem. Wala nang ang authentication, wala nang ribbon, di ba? It's only verification.
Para mapadali.
Para mas mapadali. Okay. 2 more topics na kailangan po natin
sakto
discuss
yung
ngayon.
susunod, medyo rin to. Connected sa visa pa rin to.
Connected pa rin to sa visa. No? This is our 4 people yung overstay.
Again.
Okay? It has come to my attention na meron tayong mga
Parang
kababayan.
email yun,
Yes, it has come to my attention. Herewith.
Okay.
Okay? Na may mga nagkaroon po tayo ng mga kababayan who have overstayed. Unfortunately, there is one kababayan po natin who overstayed. I won't mention who she is. That before na makapag-surrender siya, she passed away.
Oh, right.
Okay?
Okay.
Na ano siya, no? She
Yes.
passed away. Namatay siya. So, meron ho siyang mga kamag-anakan dito. And it is only through nung namatay siya na nalaman nila
She
na
overstayed. For years.
For years.
Nag-mathematics pa kami ni Kuya Mike kahapon.
So, we went through, actually, I went through this with yung relatives niya. Tandaan niyo po ito when she overstayed,
laminated
wala
pa
na siyang, yung kanyang ID was still the laminated ID. Yung malaki pa.
Yeah.
Okay? Yung malaki pa. So basically, ito yung pag napila siya, wala na talaga lalabas. Di ba? Kasi in between, wala yun.
Wala.
Wala yun. There's a ano tawag dito? Identifying mark lang na yung reader lang ng immigration can read the information
Before,
what's inside.
oo, yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's it. So, bakit ko gustong banggitin po ito? Remember, for overstayers before, it was a lot easier. You can jump from one place to another.
Yes.
But
Now.
it became more complicated as the pandemic entered. Number one, hindi ka pwedeng magpabakuna kasi mahuhuli ka.
Yes.
Right? You can't go as usual. Dagdag na natin yung hindi ka makapagpabakuna. That was one. Second, you can't go to hospitals
To have
because-
yourself checked.
because
It's still
automatic
ID.
lalabas po yun.
Yep.
No? In public hospitals. Number two, there are certain questions when you send money.
Yes, because
Diba?
you still need to present your Hong Kong ID.
You need to present your Hong Kong ID and kung ano yung normally, if the remittance is far exceeds $1,000 US, di ba? Kini-question yun.
Yes.
Right? So
They'll
these
have
are
to find
so
proof.
there's so many things that come about, no? Nung yung nangyari po dito sa kababayan po natin na namatay. So relatives went to the hospital. Let me make this clear. Relatives went to the hospital and they wanted to figure out kung ano yung magiging the next step.
Oo. Kung paano siya
Oo, so
mauwi.
tinawagan sila ng hospital and of course the hospital knew na overstay siya.
Yes.
'Di ba? Pero during the emergency, hindi siya tinanggihan kasi hindi nila pwedeng gawin yun dito.
Oath nila yun eh.
Okay.
Vow nila yun eh.
Yes. So, pagdating sa hospital, she passed away. Tinawagan yung mga relatives, pumunta
next
sa
of
hospital, and then sinabihan sila, sige, hindi nyo mo po makikita yung bangkay ng inyong kamag-anak. We will make a place for you to see her. Okay? So, nag-antay sila. This was in the evening na. So, on that particular time, dinala sila sa isang kwarto. Behold, hindi po yung kamag-anak na namatay ang nakita nila. Pulis po ang pumunta doon.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay? So, they were interrogated.
Yeah.
Question sila. Alam nyo ba yung inyong
Nangyari.
kamag-anak na overstay na? Kasi gusto nilang imbestigahan whether there was foul play.
Yes.
Okay? If you remember, we discussed this. Nakasama natin si Sir
Last
Eman
month,
at
yes.
saka si Ma'am Cynthia. Di ba? And there were certain statements nung dalawa nating kasama na sinasabi na there are certain situations na dinideny yon
Okay.
ng mga
Ng mga kakilala, kamag-anak,
kamag-anak
or whoever.
na overstay
Yes.
para wala ho silang koneksyon doon sa kababayan natin.
Yep.
Okay? So that's how it is.
Oo. Pero in their case,
Talagang inimbestigahan. In fact, yung boarding house na tinirhan niya, pinuntahan ulit ng pulis. And they had to go through all whatever things that they needed to see at kinuna ng mga litrato. Okay? Now, we don't want na humantong
Sa
sa
ganito.
ganitong sitwasyon yung mga overstayers natin. Specifically, yung mga may edad na. Okay? Yung may mga edad na po na nakapag-overstay probably more than 5 years. Meron eh. Meron po. No? In fact, itong OFW natin na namatay, passport cannot be found.
None. And imagine the Hong Kong ID laminated pa. And that's early 2000s.
Kasi tandaan nyo po, 2 beses na tayo nagpalit ng smart
The first
ID.
smart ID. This is the second smart
Second,
ID.
ano na po ito, no? So, you have to realize this fact na hindi po ito kagaya ng ibang lugar na pwede tayong lumukso sa ibang probinsya. At doon, pwede na tayo
Walang ganun dito.
mag-umpisa na tayo, di ba?
Oo. Like
Dito,
borders, no?
wala tayong magagawa doon. Dito, distrito lamang.
Yes.
Para kang nasa Metro Manila, lumukso ka sa Quezon City, tapos pumunta ka ng Pasig.
Oo.
From Pasig, pumunta ka ng Pasay.
Oo.
Di ba? Mas malaki pa nga yung siguro yung area nila
Kesa dito.
sa Metro Manila kaysa dito. So, ang chances mo na mahuhuli ka is close to nil.
But here,
Dito po, Tandaan nyo po dito ha. Tandaan nyo po ng maigi po ito. Na kung kayo po ay may kakilala na overstayer, okay, it is encouraged. Hinihikayat po namin kayo na wag na ho kayong mahuli. Kung gusto nyo po mag-surrender, dumiretso na po kayo sa
konsulado.
Okay, sa consulate. Ngayon,
Yes.
please bear in mind about this situation. May gray area po ito. Ha? Tandaan nyo po ngayon yung assistance to nationals.
Oh, yes.
Okay? Ang assistance to nationals po, pag kayo po ay migrant worker or OFW, ang ATN nyo po wala na po sa main consulate. Ang ATN nyo po ay nasa polo na po or the Migrant Workers Office. Nandun na po kayo.
Department of Migrant Workers, DMW.
Hindi, ano na siya? Migrant Workers Office. Kasi
Okay.
hindi naman siya departamento dito. Eh, di ba?
Okay.
So, nasa pangangalaga na po kayo ng Migrant Workers Office, which was formerly called Polo. Wala na po ang Polo. It's Migrant Workers Office na. MWO na siya.
Okay.
Okay? Ngayon, ano yung sinasabi kong gray area? Ito ngayon yung gray area dyan. Yung gray area dito is dati kang OFW, pero hindi ka na OFW kasi nag-overstay ka.
Oo.
So, where do you fall?
Sino ang mag-a-assist
dalawa
sa'yo?
na po yung ATN eh.
Oo.
So, migrant workers goes to Migrant Workers Office.
Oo.
Tourists, residents,
Residents.
and work visas outside of the foreign domestic workers goes now to the consular office. So, itong kababayan natin na ito, does she fall doon sa MWO?
Dahil nag-start siya as an OFW?
Dahil nag-start siya bilang OFW? Or
Does she fall dun sa may...
ATN ng consulate?
Dahil lumagpas na siya?
Lumagpas na siya.
Wow.
Okay? So ito, kailangan natin intindihin po ito. No? Intindihin po natin ito. Right? But, kaya nga sinasabi po natin sa inyo, it is not worth staying here na o-offeran kayo ng trabaho na wala ho kayong benepisyo. Okay? Yun ang sasabihin ko po sa inyo. Mahirap po yung sitwasyon na ilalagay niyo po rito.
Yes.
Specifically when the pandemic is not yet over. Kung sakaling tamaan kayo ng COVID in the midst na hindi po kayo bakunado, then that will be a problem.
Very much.
Tandaan niyo po yun. Okay? Kaya nga hinihikayat namin po kayo na mag-surrender na lang po. Kung sakali man na meron ho kayong mga iba't ibang mga reasons na ayaw nyo po mag-surrender, ang suggestion ko lang po sa inyo, let yung mga kinauukulan know about it. If you just want to talk and para may ibsan po yung inyong kaalaman, no? Madagdagan ang inyong kaalaman sa mga sitwasyon na ganito, I suggest you can call us.
Oo.
Right? Or pwede kayong i-refer ng inyong kaibigan, silang mamagitan sa sitwasyon. We can do that too. Okay? Kasi mahirap po sa sitwasyon ito nga sabihin natin, mahirap po sa sitwasyon pag kayo po'y naipit.
Yun.
At nahuli po kayo, nahinto po kayo,
Mas mahirap yun.
diretso po talaga ang lalabas nun. Tandaan nyo po, based on what my understanding, sa bawat taon na inyong pag-o-overstay, 1 buwan po yun. Every year of overstay, you get 1 month of jail time.
And you don't get to come back.
And you're blacklisted to come back. Okay? Paano po yun? Pati anak niya walang Hong Kong ID. Hindi, yung mga anak niya are working here.
Hindi. I think she was asking yung...
Marami.
Marami siyang kakilala.
Okay.
Ibang anak pa sa ibang lahi. Overstay na matagal na panahon. 6 years na.
Yung mga ganun po, specifically for asylum. Ito yung dagdag ko lang
Ito,
dyan. Ito.
oo, dahil
Very
nabanggit
clear.
ni Tita Mariam.
Pakibasa mo nga yan.
Ni Tita Mariam, Marami din akong kilala naman na namatay din last year. After niya ma-terminate, nag-overstay. Then, nag-apply naman for asylum. Nakakaawa lang kasi di na iuwi yung bangkay niya at wala din kamag-anak from Pinas ang nakapunta. So, when you apply for asylum, that's also another thing.
That's another story po. Ibang kwento po yon. Yung story po ng asylum is this. Okay? Let me just tell you. When you apply, kadalasan ganito po yung nangyayari dyan. Hinihikayat yan sila nung mga partners nila na mag-overstay, nakasama sila. Then they file asylum. Di ba? During that particular time, winawala na po nila yung kanilang mga passports.
Oo.
Para wala ho silang identification. Yung identification lang nila is yung sa kanila yan. Yung kanilang mismong recognizance lang. Sila lang maglalabas nun.
Yes.
Okay? So, iwawala po nila yon. Then, they will be under parang a receivership. No? Ang humahawak po niyan is another branch ng International Social Service Hong Kong. Yun po yung humahawak nun. Okay? Within that period, nire-review yan. Ngayon, mas nagiging stricto na po sila. Tandaan nyo po na dahil hinikayat siya. Kunyari, let's just give an example. Si DJ Jin at ako. Nabuntis si DJ Jin because of our relationship. But there was no connection between me and DJ Jin when I, from a different country, seek asylum here. Na, ang amin lang pagkakaisa is what? Yung bata.
Yeah.
Okay? Our relationship. So, I want this to be clear. During that course nung sa aming dalawa, nag-file in order dahil nga nagkaanak siya dito and he wants to be able to join me doon sa asylum.
Nag-overstay ako.
Nag-overstay siya at humingi siya ng asylum din for review.
Okay.
Considered na kasama yung bata.
Okay.
Okay? During our conversations, tayong dalawa, ang pagkaintindi mo, ang ating kaso will be considered as one. Yun yung ano, di ba? Yun yung
general thought.
General thought. Dahil meron tayong anak, meron tayong offspring, so kadikit tayong dalawa. Please understand that when ako ang nag-file initially,
iba yung ano.
ako yung umpisang nag-file para sa sarili ko. So, it was an individual application.
Yes.
Nung nag-apply ngayon si Jean,
kasama nung
baby, nag-apply siya ng application based on her.
Mine and the baby.
And the baby.
But then, which is...
Ngayon, when the exploratory situations ngayon, na kailangan na po siyang intindihin. Diba? Na kung saan ako nanggaling, at siya nanggaling, it will never be considered as one application.
No.
Hindi po siya i-consider na as single application. I-consider siya as separate application.
Kasi magkaiba.
Most often than not, pag na-deny, marami na ho. Ngayon, sadly, marami na po ang nadi-deny. At pinababalik po sila. They're being deported back to where they came from.
Oo.
Okay? So, nang dahil doon sa situation na yon, yung kababayan natin ngayon will have to go back to the Philippines with the kid.
Oh.
Under that circumstance. Kaya, kinakailangang intindihin po ng maigi. Ang naging sitwasyon dito is that most often than not, ang nangyayari is nagkokompromiso po yung karelasyon nung kababayan po natin or nung maaaring Indonesian siya, maaaring ibang lahi. But at the end of the day, iiwanan at iiwanan sila because they're not considered as meron silang conjugal partnership.
Wala.
Right?
Oo.
Wala po yun. That will not be considered as one application. Tandaan niyo po yun. Ngayon, hindi na iintindihan ng marami po yun. Not everyone understand that. But we're trying to make it clear with you.
Yes. Kung bakit ganun.
Bakit ganun po yung situation. Because kung ganun po ang lalabas nun, then pwede nilang gawin, tinatawag nilang blanket. Di ba? Sama-sama na lahat kayo.
Hindi.
Para papuntahin po kayo sa isang bansa.
Oo.
Hindi po gagawin ng mga bansang mag-a-accept ng mga refugees yun.
No.
When they are able to be adopted by another country. Kung talagang mag-asawa na kayo, nung dumating po kayo dito, then that's acceptable.
Yes. Pero yun, hindi. At saka yung fact na nabuntis ka,
And then the reason...
nag-overstay
correct.
ka
And the reason why nag-overstay ka, nabuntis ka, kaya ayaw mong umuwi because...
for asylum. Tapos gusto
Hindi,
mo mag-asylum.
because normally, ang reason ng asylum na yon kasi yung aking buhay is threatened when I go back home nang
Oo.
dahil dun sa bata.
Oo. Hindi naman
Hindi, ito lang sasabihin ko dyan. Haven't you realized the fact na kung ganun ang mangyayari sa'yo, di ba? You're giving too much pressure on the kid, not on you,
Yeah.
dun sa situation. So you have to really reconsider yung situation mo doon.
At saka maraming hindi nakakaintindi kung anong ibig sabihin talaga ng asylum.
Correct. No?
Diba?
So, kinakailangan nyo pong intindihin ng mabuti po yung decisions na ganun. Di ba? Kaya nga sinasabi ko po sa inyo, again, if you're in a tight situation, understand the fact na you have to think of yourself first before what other people thinks about your situation.
True.
Kasi tandaan nyo po ito, hindi po kayo pwedeng salbahin, no? Hindi po kayo pwedeng salbahin sa situation nyo kung ang iba ang magdidikta sa inyo.
Totoo.
Wala hong mangyayari po doon. So you have to really make sure na kayo po ang magdidikta sa sitwasyon nyo pag kayo po'y overstay. When we come back, it's about people coming back to Hong Kong.
Mga OFWs, pabalik.
Yes. Don't go away.
Metro Plus, Hong Kong's weather.
It will be mainly cloudy, a few rain patches at first, foggy later tomorrow. Temperatures will range between 19 and 22 degrees. Moderate easterly winds, fresh offshore, becoming easterlies and weakening. Relative humidity stands at 88%. For the outlook, warm and foggy with sunny periods on Saturday. Temperatures falling appreciably later on Sunday. Cold in the morning with minimum temperatures of around 12 degrees early to midweek next week. And that's the weather from Metro Plus, your connect.
Early stage colorectal cancer doesn't cause any symptoms. However, screening can achieve early detection. The Colorectal Cancer Screening Program subsidizes Hong Kong residents aged 50 to 75 who don't have symptoms to get screened. It can be free. Remember to get screened every 2 years after being tested. Visit colonscreen.gov.hk to learn more.
Para sa inyong kuro-kuro opinyon at katanungan, tawag lang sa 1-834-100, 1-834-100. Pwede ring i-text, WhatsApp or Viber sa 6641-8811, 6641-8811. O di kaya pwede rin sa aming messenger, PTSHK. That's PTSHK. Isama na rin nyo ang aming email, ptshk1044@gmail.com, ptshk1044@gmail.com. Siya nga pala, check nyo na rin ang aming Facebook community page, facebook.com/PinoyTayoSanman.
Balik po tayo sa ating programa, 20 minutes bago tayo sumapit ng alas 10 ng gabi. And we're having, of course, Pastor Bong Hermosa later on sa ating Touch of Glory. Sa mga kasamaan po natin, thank you for continuing to tune in sa ating programa. Okay, itong susunod naman natin is really more of being practical about coming back home. Rather, going back to where you want to work, no? So, ang pinapalabas po natin dito is, you've seen it, we posted it earlier, and a lot of people are having a hard time, specifically in locations ng Terminal 3. No? And this is not very specific to mga kababayan po natin na papunta lamang dito sa Hong Kong. No, this is in general for OFWs all over na magtatrabaho sa iba't ibang lugar. No? Europe, Middle East, Africa, kabuuan po ng Asia. So, it boils down to most of our kababayans who are actually leaving to continue working after a holiday. No? Dahil wala na tayong restrictions dito sa Hong Kong. So, let's be more specific in what Hong Kong is. No? So, marami sa ating mga kababayan dito, ayun, na kailangan po nating i-remind lang po sa inyo. So, bato-bato sa langit, tamaan mga magagalit sa mga sitwasyon na ganito. Now, most often than not, when we arrive, pisan muna natin, pag tayo nang galing po sa Hong Kong, pabalik po tayo ng Pilipinas, we have to fill up the e-travel. No? It is, to me, whether it's required or not required, I always suggest to give all the information necessary in order to avoid problems that may occur. So, e-travel po yung tawag doon, which is before, ang tawag doon dati is One Health Pass. No? And they had called it many other things, and then now it's called e-travel. Okay. So, we go through our vacation and so on and so forth. Now, it's coming back.
Okay.
Now, going back to Hong Kong, wala na ngang requirements, no?
Yes.
What it does is that the government of Hong Kong does not require you, or hindi na siya mandatory, but it is encouraged. Hinihikayat po kayo to follow certain procedures.
Yes.
Okay? And these procedures will be needed to be kept for the next 6 months sakaling they want to question how you came in. Okay? So, ang requirements pa natin dito, which again, hinihikayat ko pong sundin ninyo. Okay? Yung Hong Kong Health Declaration.
Yes.
Yan. Second is that yung tinatawag po nating self or voluntary testing before you take the flight.
Yes.
And then, you have a 0 to 5. Again, this is voluntary.
Nasa sa inyo kung gusto nyo
Nasa
gawin
inyo
or hindi.
o hindi.
Yes.
No? Ang iniikayat po tayo ng gobyerno ng Hong Kong is to keep those results.
Yes.
Take a picture of it. So, pwede nyo po siyang balikan. Okay?
Make sure na if ever nagagawin nyo reminder lang, you can actually write your name.
And the date.
Better write your name, date, and then the time.
Yes.
Okay, dun sa ano.
Okay.
And then lagay mo day 1, day 2, gano'n.
Okay. So, ganun lang po yung kalalabasan doon. When you take pictures of it, you don't actually have to put day 1, day 2 kasi may timestamp yun eh.
Sa bagay, oo.
Diba? There's a timestamp na.
Yeah.
So, what I normally do, I would put my name on top and then at the bottom
The date.
is the date.
Yeah.
When you talk about names, I normally just put the last name instead of putting the whole name kasi alam naman natin kulang sa lugar, kulang sa area.
Yeah.
Okay, so ngayon, now, that's the requirement getting out. Ngayon, majority sa atin, ngayon nababawasan na dahil wala na pong, I don't know whether in Terminal 3 it's still happening, but in other terminals in the Philippines, specifically in Manila, wala na po siyang yung kumbaga guard na
Yung
to stop
X-ray.
you an additional X-ray sa pagbukas.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Yun yung nangyayari. There are also flights now coming from Cebu.
Yep.
No? I don't know yung patakaran nila sa Cebu, but all I know is that now, yung mga paliparan sa Metro Manila or sa Manila itself, wala na po siyang first X-ray. Dire-diretso na po kayong papasok and you go straight to the check-in counter. Okay. Now, majority sa atin normally come in and we do all the works. Pupila tayo whatever airline we're supposed to be getting the flight with, and then we give all the requirements, and that's supposed to be it.
Yes.
Ang standard operating procedure or SOP is that after we check in and go through the necessary requirements with the airline, we're supposed to go straight to the immigration na.
Supposedly.
Okay? But a lot of us still wander around.
Loitering.
Lalabas tayo, mag-goodbye tayo sa mga kasama natin, and so on and so forth. Not thinking
That's why there's an allotted time.
merong situationer before the immigration na mahaba ang pila.
Yes.
Okay? So, ngayon, marami ang nagsasabi. Okay? Na, ang bagal-bagal. Ganito, ganyan.
Okay.
Okay? Tandaan niyo po, that's why you are allotting much more time for you to clear immigration. Di ba? Kaya nga maaga kayong pupunta.
Kaya nga maaga yung check-in 3 hours before.
Kagaya nga nung iba ng sinasabi nila, there was one lady who I read yung kanyang comment na wag na ho kasing mag-iikot pa.
So true.
Diretso na ho kayo sa immigration kaagad.
Oo nga.
So sakali man na meron pa kayong 2 oras bago po yung flight ninyo, you have enough time to clear immigration para upo na lang po kayo doon sa loob mismo nung restricted area.
True.
Instead na yun kung saan-saan pa ho kayo pumupunta, and then at the end of the day, kayo rin naman po ang mapiperwisyo. Okay? So, kinakailangan nyo pong gawin is stop having people still wait for you outside the airport. Para lang malaman, naka-check-in na ako. So, picture-picture, kain muna tayo. Without knowing na time is being erased slowly.
Yes.
By the time you reach the immigration, hindi naman po mababawasan yun eh.
Oo.
Because constant dami po ng mga flights
Nang nag-check-in.
And remember,
hour.
it's one immigration does not only take care of one flight.
It
takes
takes care
of
of
many
all.
flights. Okay? Kaya
And and the manpower is
sige na,
low.
ikaw na magsabi dahil nanggagalaiti si DJ Jin kanina.
konti lang yung tao. As much as gusto nating paramihan, as much as gusto nating sabihin na please pakibuksan po lahat ng counter sa immigration, paano mo bubuksan yung lahat ng counter ng immigration kung wala namang tatao? Diba?
Now, ito yung mga sinasabi for those people who have connecting flights. Sabi ni Lintongonan, pero sa lawag po, stricto po ang Philippine Airlines. Ang dami pong hinahanap, pinaparat test pa before the flight. Kaya nga sinasabi ko po sa inyo,
magbaon.
Just follow talaga the procedure.
Oo.
Kasi ang hirap sa inyo, ito lang sinasabi, yung parang sinasabi natin kung ano yung pwede sa aking gamot.
Hindi pwede sa akin.
Hindi pwede sa kanya
Oo.
So, kinakailangan pare-pareho tayo. We follow the same procedure. Ang hilig nyo kasi, hindi naman kasi kailangan Di susundin nyo ngayon yon. Hindi naman ho kayo galing doon sa airport na yun
Oo nga. Iba
Di ba? So, each and every airline has their procedure. But these are in general form. Kaya nga sinasabi ko po sa inyo, mas mabuti na po na sundin nyo po na meron po kayong panuntunan, sarili ninyo
kung paano.
po. Di ba? Hindi yung para kayo nangongopya lagi
At saka yung, emergency din, kung in case na ma-delay yung flight, katulad ng what happened,
correct.
Always have something extra sa bag ninyo. Hindi lang extra biscuits or extra inumin. Magdala din, again, katulad ng sinabi ni Kuya Mike the last time, bring extra clothes.
Lahat kailangan meron.
And especially now, dahil kailangan pa rin ng self-test, bring at least 2 extra RAT with you.
Sabi nga dito ni Miriam, sabi niya dito, ako nga nung pag-check-in ko, sinabihan talaga ako ng crew
na diretso
sa immigration kasi ang haba po ng pila. Nangyari sa akin yan, ako pa yung pinaka-last na nag-board.
At sinundo pa ako ng airline crew kasi nga, ako na lang yung naiwan. Thankful lang ako kasi talagang hindi ako iniwan. Not like sa experience nung New Year.
Yan. Diba?
Diba?
Kaya ngayon yung sinasabi natin, diba? Tandaan nyo po, it is not in any way the responsibility of the airline to assist you during immigration. In fact, tandaan nyo po, the airlines, any people within the immigration area is a restricted area. Walang pakialam yung airline. Only may pakialam ang airline if you need assistance. Handicap po kayo, di ba? PWD kayo, yung mga ganon, di ba?
Yes.
Or kayo po ay, tawag dito, kung bata po kayo, unaccompanied minor, yung mga ganon. Hindi ho kayo pa po, kasi ang sa inyo, nag-i-insist kayo na, para namang hindi kayo nagta-travel every so often.
Ang responsibility lang ng airline is to give you your seat.
Correct.
To get your luggage
to
and
check
to say,
you in.
Okay, she's here. They're
Yun
here.
Oo.
Dapat
hindi ho po pwede na you cannot go through the process of getting into immigration na akala nyo kayo yung importante.
Oo.
Hindi kayo maiiwanan. Pakinggan nyo po yung inano natin, di ba? Kay Tita Nida de la Cruz, remember? Last week. Di ba?
Yes.
Sa sobrang asikaso na sa kanila ng immigration, pagdating doon, yung airline pa mismo ang in-offload sila. Di ba? Ano yung kwento ni Tita Nida nung time na yon? Ano bang pinakamas maikling panahon? Na isakay kami doon sa eroplano o tanggalin yung bagahe namin sa loob? Baka may magtanong sa inyo, bakit kailangan tanggalin yung bagahe? Number one, it is a security requirement that if the passenger does not get into the flight,
Tatanggalin yun.
kailangan tanggalin yun.
Hassle. Have you seen how they load?
Alam niyo gagawin doon, sakali, let's say, maaga kayong nag-check-in,
Oo.
tapos late kayong pumasok sa immigration, yung bagahe nyo, tandaan nyo, the early person check-in is the first bagahe na papasok.
Oo. Kung sila yung nauna,
Yun ang nagiging problema dyan.
kasi mas lalong na-delay, they'll have to okay, take it all back. Hanapin nila ulit yun.
Yun. Di ba? O, sabi niya, yung iba nakasabay ko po noon, January 2, ang yayabang, yung problema sa atin, yung ibang Pinoy, nagmamagaling. No need na daw yung health declaration. No need na daw 24-hour rat test before the flight. At yun, 5-day self-monitoring ako, sinabihan ng amo ko, i-keep yung mga results. Yun na nga yung sinasabi natin eh. We follow as if dahil hindi na siya requirement, hindi na siya mandatory, it is advised but not forced.
Yes.
Or hindi na siya mandatory. So, parang wala na ho kayong pakialam.
Yep.
You know what? If you come from a country that has already taken care of you all this time, ano ba naman yung gawin nyo po to return that favor by following what is there even though it's not required?
Ooh, it's not just
Kung maintindihan
for
eh.
them, it's also for you. Paano kung meron ka nga?
Yes.
'Di ba? Ito, sabi ni Tita Vilma, amo ko po working sa airport. Nag-a-assist po sila sa immigration sa mga pila-pila. Minsan po, mas marunong pa yung tinuturuan nila.
I agree ako dyan. I definitely agree to that. And it's sad, no? Kasi Pilipino pa naman yung ganun eh.
Yeah.
Di ba? Why don't you just follow? What if you get bumped off?
Oh.
Tapos yung ticket nyo is fixed date departure. Saan ho kayo pupulutin? Then you buy another ticket.
So true.
All in simple. You just have to follow. Right?
Stress.
I mean, DJ Jin went to Singapore recently. I
Went to
came back from Japan. Right? And all this time, ako mismo, I was testing myself daily
While we were away.
while we were away.
Ako, I went to a crowd. I went to Singapore where they're not mandated to wear a mask anymore. Even kahit sabihin nilang kailangan indoors, yung iba hindi na eh.
Kaya nga hindi ko maintindihan why we have to be susunod tayo sa uso dahil yun ang nakalagay sa vlog.
Oh, wala nang
Alam mo ito,
mask.
sabihin ko lang sa inyo, bato-bato sa langit, tamaan, huwag magagalit. I did a report with
Monday?
DZXL
Tuesday.
Monday
Okay.
at 6:30 in the morning. I was here doing my job for news and I was reporting DZXL. One of the things
I feel
that
so stressed na.
really said there
Okay.
is this. For tourists who came from the Philippines, who arrived from the Philippines, then doing vlogs. Okay? Ang sinabi ko lang doon, they're taking pictures in Disneyland, Ocean Park, in paglabas nila ng airport with no masks.
Bawal po yun.
So I specifically said during my report, I would just like to remind everyone that when you arrive here, it is still mandatory
To wear a
masks
mask.
in public and
Especially in
private
indoor.
places, in indoors, right? Ang exception na lang pag kumakain
When you're
kayo sa
or when you're
restaurant.
exercising.
Correct.
Or picture taking for official
Yes.
celebrations like weddings.
Okay? So ito po, again, doon sa mga kababayan ninyo, ako sa akin, it really makes me feel na hindi tayo sumusunod di ba? We have our own laws. Alam na natin ito because marami na sa ating mga kababayan ang nahuli because of this particular problem.
Yes.
But I don't want to be a broken record or ano po ako, against lagi ako dun sa gusto nyong gawin.
So true.
But to me, it's just a reminder. And tandaan nyo po ito, turista po ito.
Totoo.
These are all tourists. And some of them are even mga artista na nagpapakuha ng pictures during the course of their stay here. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that dahil personal nyo po yun. But if you get caught here, during that time na nangyari po yun, wala ho kami magagawa. But again, it will be reflective to us,
Yes.
the community here, that yung mga turista nito are not following rules and regulations. Tandaan nyo po yun. Then yun po yung nireport ko nung panghuli. Because that is not right. Okay? I know that you want to enjoy. You're paying for your trip. It is your prerogative to do whatever you want. But the requirement is still masks in public and indoor settings are still required. Unless, kagaya ng ginagawa namin, ni DJ Jin, when we do our boxing every Monday, because we're exercising,
that's when we take off our mask.
we take off our mask.
But once we're done,
Pagkatapos nun,
we
suot
wear a
ulit
mask
ang
again.
mask. Okay? So please lang po, sundin pa rin po natin ang mga patakaran.
Yes.
I do understand that irita na po kayo. I do understand that people are feeling claustrophobic. Na parang wala na akong karapatan. It's not because wala na ho kayong karapatan. Ako mismo, to be honest, at this point in time, even if they start telling people
now I'm wearing my
ako,
mask.
I will still wear my mask.
Because touch wood, I haven't gotten sick yet.
Yes.
Diba?
Diba? Yun lang po sa akin. I would rather be safe than sorry.
Yep.
No? Even during our conversations with our meetings dito sa office.
Oh.
Kung hindi lamang kami dito within the office that we know
Kami
each other,
lang.
okay yun.
But
But
then
when
if
we
there's
have
someone-
staff here na papasok dito sa office or we have
We
inter-department meetings, nakamask
wear
pa rin po
masks.
kami.
Oo.
Nakamask pa rin
Tapos
po
ba,
kami.
malay namin kung saan sila galing.
Yes.
Malay ba namin kung sino yung nakausap nila.
Exactly. Right?
Diba?
So, para sa akin, yun lang po yung akin na requirement sa ating mga kababayan. Let's just follow. It's not difficult. Okay? We've lasted 3 years of having the mask.
Yeah.
Lalo na ngayon, with a season na ganito,
Ganito.
na the humidity is high again, nasa sa inyo rin po yun. It's
So true.
really up to you at the end of the day. No? Let's not question kung sakaling tamaan tayo. Sabi natin, eventually, everyone will be hit.
Yeah.
But it's just a protective mechanism for all of us at the end of the day. That's really up to you. Now, gaya ng sinasabi natin, ito yung we made it a solid position today para maintindihan niyo po itong mga bagong patakaran na ito, things that we would like to share with you. Okay? So, maraming salamat po sa inyong pakikinig. Tita Carrie will be with us tomorrow sa ating programa. And for and on behalf ng ating mga kasama, on a Thursday,
Yes.
tomorrow is another Friday, we'll check in again
Same
at 7:30.
Same place.
All the way till 10
Yep.
sa ating programa. So, thank you ulit
Oo.
sa ating mga kasama sa araw na ito. And of course, yung inyong mga kuro-kuro at opinion. I hope, hinihikayat ko po kayo, yung pinalabas ko po kaninang information earlier before the show. Please, spread the word. Share it with other people para hindi po tayo mabiktima ng mga